5. You may not believe a man will fly, but you damn sure will believe a man can lie. And it's your boy Icon with a DC TV animated review, and the show is good, though we are moving the gun a little, no pun intended. We are moving this show along very quickly, but I haven't figured out if that's a good thing or a bad thing or not. So in this particular episode, it's the fallout from last episode when Lois figures out that Clark Kent is Superman. So now she's trying to basically expose him and get him to admit it. She's telling him things like, oh, Clark, you're such a good friend, which is good because I don't like liars and people keeping secrets from me and everything. And Clark, for the love of God, he's trying his hardest to try to throw the scent off the dogs. But the problem is they have a scanner that tells them about police activity. So they figured they were just, because Lois was just like, we'll use the scanner, and whenever we hear about Superman, we'll go down to where the crime scene is, and then me, you, and Superman in the same room together will have a conversation and we'll ask him some questions. And then Superman is just like, he ignored that whole thing. He was just like, oh, so you want to do the story with me? He was like, that's great, because I want to find out who's taking all these weapons and everything, all this high technology off the streets. So anyway, so then they hear on the scanner that a bus is going to crash, and then Clark is just like, oh, I think I'm going to go to the break room and get myself a bagel, and he leaves. And then Lois hears on the scanner that Superman saved the day. Now there's this whole back and forth thing where Lois is listening to the scanner, where Clark keeps going to the Daily Planet, and then when he's talking to her at the Daily Planet and then something comes up on the scanner, he says he has to go to the kitchen for something, and then he leaves to go save the day, and then he keeps coming back and forth, which is pissing Lois off. So she takes the scanner and she just leaves the Daily Planet altogether. And for some reason, there is a lot of crime going on in the city at this exact moment. She ends up finding him eventually with all the different crime that's going on. She finds Superman, and then she goes up to Superman, and then she handcuffs herself to Superman and says that you're not leaving until Clark shows up so the three of us can have a conversation. Obviously, she knows Clark Kent is Superman, but she's just trying to get him to admit it, and she's doing this elaborate ruse in order to get there. So anyway, so then they run up on this one particular person that actually had some tech. The tech that the person had was fire tech, and when that person saw Superman, she immediately freaked out because she was just like, oh, you're not going to get me, Superman. And then Superman was like, what the hell are you talking about, lady? And then she's like, you've been abducting us. You've been she said that everybody that got secret tech through Livewire, she said that you've been snatching them up off the streets and taking us to God knows where. And she's like, you're not going to get me, Superman. And Superman's like, I don't know what this girl talking about. So Superman fights the person, and then while he's fighting the person, the fire person, it was like her and two other people. They get into it, they end up getting away. Clark ends up taking Lois back to the Daily Planet, and he's like, listen, they're going to hurt people, they're going to hurt a lot of people, and I can't go after them and have you go with me because you're going to get hurt, and I can't let you get hurt. So he breaks the handcuffs, and then he flies away to go after the tech. And then the funny thing is, when he left her on the roof and then he flew away, and then Lois was just like, oh, Superman. And then she said, Clark. You would think he would have stopped and he would have came back and be like, why did you say that name? But then I got to remember, he didn't get his super hearing yet. The two things that he's missing right now, he doesn't have super hearing. I don't think he has x-ray vision yet. And he doesn't have freeze breath. So it's there's three things so far. So that's why he didn't hear her say Clark. So he flies away. When he gets to the scene to where the fire tech person is, that's when we get another character. And as soon as I looked at the character, I was like, oh, that's Slade. Because I didn't have to hear his name because they called him Agent Wilson. The man had two swords, but it's just for the love of God, the costume that he's wearing the Slade colors. It's obviously Slade. And then, he works for the general of the U.S. government and Amanda Waller. And then they called her Mandy. Why are we calling Amanda Waller Mandy? I thought that was cute. It's actually Amanda Waller, the general, and Slade. They're the ones running up on the people who have the tech because I guess it was their tech to begin with. They used Livewire to sell tech, to random criminals throughout the city. But now that Livewire has been taken off the board, Amanda Waller wants her tech back. So she's sending Slade Wilson out there to go run up on all these people and get back the tech. Everybody thinks it's Superman because Superman's the new big thing on campus. And because Superman's been taking down criminals, everybody just assumes Superman's the one snatching the metas off these tech metas off the street. So then now when Superman shows up and he's confronting the woman with the firepower, then Slade shows up and then there's this huge battle. And I need to, this needs to be explained too. He's supposed to be the Man of Steel. He's supposed to be absorbing sunlight, and Superman's supposed to be impenetrable. When he fought Slade was able to cut him, slice him, dice him, put marks on his body, put cuts on his body. The fire meta, they're not really metas, but the fire pyro perk was able to do the same thing. And the only reason I can think of is that obviously because there was a moment where Clark had touched the flamethrower that this girl had on her wrist, and then he started having weird like memory flashbacks of an explosion or whatever. It's obvious that because these weapons were made from Kryptonian technology, they're affecting Superman as far as like his brain is concerned, as far as like his memories are concerned. But are we doing the thing now where the metal from Kryptonian technology, it's strong enough to penetrate the skin of Superman? I mean, if you do that, I'm actually okay with that. Like, I wouldn't be mad at that, because at least then it ups the stakes for Superman. Because again, one of the hardest things to do whenever you do anything Superman related, it's because he's the Man of Steel. It's hard to convince me that somebody can whoop his ass because he's fucking Superman. But if you put him on an even playing field outside of Kryptonite, where all of these weapons, because they come from Krypton, they have the ability to wound him because it's metal from his own planet. I can buy into that, and it kind of evens the playing field a little bit as far as like the villains taking down Superman. So anyway, so then like they all get into a big fight. He's fighting Slade, he's fighting the Meta. I don't know why I keep calling her a Meta. And then there was a moment where there was a bus, there was kids on a bus and a bridge. The bridge got destroyed. Superman left the battle to try to like save the bridge, to save the kids on the bridge. And then when he was trying to stop the bus from falling off the bridge, he had the bridge over his head and he was trying to repair the bridge. And then Amanda Waller told Slade, she was like, he's vulnerable, take the shot. And then the general was like, no. And then she was just like, sir, but she's like, we're trying to get Superman and take him down. This is our moment. This is our shot. But then the general was like, yes, but we didn't do this to hurt the American people or the public. We did this to take down like criminals and to take down like aliens and things of that nature. He was like, because he said that's when he was like, remember Mandy, why we started doing this to begin with. So all of them have a backstory. The General has a backstory, Mandy has a backstory, and Agent Wilson has a backstory as to why they're trying to take down Superman and why they created all this, Kryptonian technology weaponry anyway. So I'm actually looking forward to that whole explanation. So then they chose to not take down Superman, and they were just like, tomorrow's another day. They took the fire chick, and then, Slade and everybody, like, they dipped. Superman saved the people who were on the bridge, and then he flew back to the Daily Planet. He flew back to the Daily Planet dressed up as Clark Kent, went back to the roof because Lois was still on the roof, and then he went up there. When he went up to the roof, Lois saw him. She hugged him. She was like, oh my God, I'm glad you're okay. And then she was like, why do you have burns on your neck and everything? And then he was like, oh, I went home real quick and like went and then shaved my face or something. And I'm just like, this is why. Because this Clark Kent isn't very smart. I also found out, which is cool, because I said something about, is Lois Asian in the last episode? We do find out Lois is actually Korean, because the voice actress that does Lois Lane, she's Korean, and because of the outfit that she wore at the gala, she's portrayed as like it was a Korean style outfit. So Lois Lane in this whole thing, Jimmy Black, Perry White Black, Lois Lane is Korean. The only I'm perfectly fine with that. My only issue with that is if she is Korean, they should make her make her look more Korean and less, American, because she looks very like Western. Because I thought she was Spanish in the beginning, because she had like a browner skin complexion and everything, the way they drew her. Like they could have just drawn her like more, like a little bit more Korean, so people wouldn't have to guess. But anyway, say love. We're back to Clark Kent being a dumbass, because throughout the entire episode, he is coming up with the most stupidest reason. Because the whole thing is, this is episode 5. The show just started. And in episode 5, it's already been revealed that Clark Kent is Superman. In every single Superman lore, cartoon, comic, movie, etc., it usually takes Lois Lane a very long time before she finds out the secret. She found out he was Superman in episode 5. Not because she's the greatest reporter of all time, not because his secret wasn't really a secret, because Clark Kent is an idiot when it comes to coming up with reasons to leave. How are you going to tell somebody, I went to go get a bagel, and then come back with scars and bruises all over your body? How are you going to tell this chick? You guys were in the middle of searching for Superman. You were in the middle of doing crime fighting, sleuthing and everything. You were in the middle of a battle where people were dying, and you're just going to tell her like, bro, I just went home to shave real quick. I'm like, you're a fucking moron. So naturally she got upset, and then she was just like, okay, so and this is what we're gonna do. She jumped off a building, and then he flew in and saved her. And then she was like, I knew it, you were Superman. And he was like, well, what do you want me to do? He was like, and then like I said before, the first thing that came out of his mouth was, you told me you were gonna out Superman and out all of his secrets to the public, my secrets, and I don't even know all my secrets yet. But she was just like, but if I knew it was you, I wouldn't have done that. And then now she's doing the whole, oh, you like understand, like, Lois isn't stupid. I said in the last episode, I like the fact that this Lois Lane isn't an idiot. She's not stupid. She knows why he didn't tell her he was Superman. The problem is because she wants to know everything, because she wants to be a know-it-all and wants to have all the information, she's just upset because he was sitting on something really juicy and didn't tell her. So now she's pretending like she's all in her feelings, and she's hurt because she lied, and you know damn well why he lied. So now she's mad, and she's like, oh, whatever this was gonna be. And then she tries to hit him below the belt. She's like, whatever this was gonna be, this relationship, it's gonna be nothing because I can't trust you. And if I'm Clark, I'm like, whatever, girl, I'm going home. Like, if I'm Clark, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody's going to believe you. If you tell people that I'm Superman, ain't nobody going to believe your ass anyway. She's on some bullshit right now. And I don't even know where this is going because this is episode 5. And we already found out that, you know, Lois already knows that he's Superman. In other news, Jimmy, he was supposed to go on a camping trip with Lois and Clark because there was supposed to be this thing about Bigfoot being in the woods or in the forest or whatever. So the three of them were supposed to go to the forest. They ended up, like, Jimmy was calling them. He was just like, hey, today at 5 o'clock, that's when the bus leaves for the forest. You know, we're still going camping. And both of them said, yes, we're still going. But because they got into this whole, you outed me as Superman, why'd you lie to me, this, that, and the third bullshit, they basically left Jimmy at the altar and never showed up. Earlier in the episode, he was hanging out with Steve from the Daily Planet, and Steve was basically trying to tell him, he was like, look, bro, you just the third wheel sidekick. He said, there's things going on with Superman and with Clark and Lois that ain't got nothing to do with you. You think you're part of the group, but they don't give a shit about you. They're not your friends, and eventually people move on and go their separate ways. You just have to accept that. And Jimmy's whole thing, he was like, no, we're best friends, and we're together, and blah, 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 this, that, and the third. Then he shows up at the bus stop, and ain't nobody coming. So now he and his feelings, and we're doing the whole arc of Jimmy feeling left out like the fifth wheel or the 12th thumb. And he ends up going to the forest by himself to investigate Bigfoot. And when he goes into the forest, before the episode ends, we find out that it's not Bigfoot, but it's fucking Grodd. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, this is episode 5, and we've already gotten Gorilla Grodd. That's how the episode ended, and thank you for tuning in. I feel like the people that are making this show, when they got the green light to make the show and they saw all the other shows getting canceled, like Titans, Doom Patrol, the entire Arrowverse, when James Gunn took over and all these shows started getting canceled left and right, they were just like, you know what? Let's just load this season up with every single thing we can because we might not make it till tomorrow. So now we got Gorilla Grodd. I like the fact that the show is damn good. Like, I'm enjoying the show. And I like the fact that they're giving these villains new origins and different ways of, you know, of coming to be. The problem is we need to pick one because I feel like we're getting too many villains too quickly, and we need to focus. Like this again, it's episode 5. We need to focus on one villain right now and stick to the one villain. Like I said, because we done got Livewire, you know, we done got Slade Wilson, we got Amanda Waller, like we got Silver Banshee, Ivo, and Parasite like all in one person. And now we got Gorilla Grodd. So I'm just like, can we take a breath real quick? But, you know, anyway, it's good because, see me, I'm just more shocked that they're squeezing every episode is only 20 minutes long. We're squeezing so much shit into a 20-minute episode. It's mind-boggling to me. But it's good storytelling, which is why it works, and I'm here for it. So check out my other reviews because we got more My Adventures with Superman on the channel. We got the series finale or the season finale of Marvel's Secret Invasion. I got Warrior up on the channel, and we got Harley Quinn because Harley Quinn is back, baby. Hit me up on Instagram and Twitter X. Always on YouTube where you can share your questions, comments, and concerns. Until next week, for some more Superman. Well, I was going to say Superman loves. For some more adventures with Superman. So take care, guys. So up and away as always. And until next week, we're out this.